Hey guys, so coming to you today with another What's Next. This is on the undefeated and former featherweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson. He's currently tied for 10th at 130 pounds super featherweight for me, and he main evented an ESPN card on Saturday, December 12th when he took on Toka Clary, the veteran, little-known veteran, and he dominated the fight with a one-sided unanimous decision, did Stevenson. So now Stevenson moves forward, and the big question is, what's next for the undefeated Shakur Stevenson? Well, you know, Stevenson, dominant performance, and we were informed prior to the fight, weeks before the fight, that Stevenson basically is the mandatory to the winner of Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton for the WBO title. Herring's the champion right now. Frampton, the former two-division world champion, looking for a championship in the third weight class right here. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if he can pull it off against Herring. But Stevenson is supposed to be lined up to fight the winner. That's supposed to happen. Now, you know, there's issues on whether that will go down, though, because I absolutely think he would fight Carl Frampton if Frampton were to beat Herring. But I personally think Herring's going to beat Carl Frampton. If that happens, these two guys are friends. You know, they've come kind of from a similar training. And I really think maybe that fight doesn't go down. But, you know, that's why we run through the top 10 and see what other options could be there for the undefeated Shakur Stevenson. So let's start with number one, a possible showdown with Miguel Berchelt. I wouldn't completely rule it out. Berchelt's fighting Oscar Valdez in February. I think he's going to lay Valdez out. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I think Berchelt wants to possibly get Vasily Lomachenko, somebody on that level first. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bob Arum could make a Stevenson versus Berchelt fight. I wouldn't be surprised by that for enough money. And if Berchelt's coming off a big win over Oscar Valdez, he might be willing to fight anybody. So we just got to wait and see. Number two is, geez, drawing a blank here. I believe it's Joseph Diaz. No, it's Gervonta Davis. I'm sorry. Undefeated WBA super champion Gervonta Davis. Yeah, I don't see this fight yet. I would love this matchup right here, but I don't think the PBC and Mayweather are going to get together with Bob Arum to make this fight. It's too risky of a fight for Stevenson, or for Davis, and I just don't think that they see the dollar amount in it yet, but definitely a fight in the future I would love to see, but I don't think there's a chance it happens next. Number three is Joseph Diaz Jr. Well, Joseph Diaz is fighting, we just heard he's making a mandatory defense of his IBF title against Shavkat Rakhimov, the undefeated mandatory #1 contender. That's taking place in February. He also fights for Golden Boy and DAZN. I just don't think he's one of Golden Boy's bright stars. If he wins that fight, I don't think Oscar's going to want to risk him against Shakur Stevenson until that fight is super big, possibly unification. So I'm not seeing this one. Number four is former WBA, our former 4-division world champion, Leo Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz isn't going to come back. This is PBC working with Top Rank again, and then he's not going to come back after getting laid out by Gervonta Davis and take on Shakur Stevenson, so I don't see this one. Number five is former 2-division champion Carl Frampton. It's possible if Frampton can beat Jamel Herring. It's definitely possible these two guys could lock horns. I'm going to lean towards the no just because I think Herring's going to win the fight, but I do think that Frampton is a live underdog heading into that. He's a live underdog to win, and I think it's a fight that both guys would take if Frampton gets the victory. I think if Frampton were to beat Herring, he'd have the confidence that he could beat Stevenson, and Stevenson's a mandatory anyway. So I definitely think it could happen, but I personally feel Herring's going to beat Frampton. So I don't think it will happen between Frampton and Stevenson. Then number six is the undefeated former featherweight champion Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is lined up to fight Miguel Berchelt in February. I think he's going to get smacked in that fight, and definitely, he didn't want the fight even before that with Stevenson. He's ran from him twice. So yeah, he definitely don't want none of Stevenson. Not going to see, definitely don't see that one. Number 7 is WBA regular champion Rene Alvarado. Yeah, I don't see it as a backup plan. Alvarado fights for Golden Boy in the zone. I don't see him giving Stevenson the time of day, and vice versa, because Stevenson's going to want him to come over to ESPN, and I don't see that happening next. Number 8 is at, 130 pounds. Number 8 is the WBO champion Jamel Herring. I definitely see this fight happening. I think it's going to happen. I think Herring is going to beat Carl Frampton, and then I think it's going to be Herring against Stevenson probably towards the middle of the year, possibly summertime, and I would love to see that. Number 9 is Tevin Farmer, former IBF champion. I don't see it because I believe Farmer is waiting around to cash in on his mandatory rematch with Joseph Diaz Jr. I think Joseph Diaz got forced into a mandatory fight with Shavkat Rakhimov, and I think the IBF will allow him to fight Tevin Farmer in a rematch if Diaz beats Rakhimov, which I think Diaz will. So I think Farmer's waiting around for that, but I don't know if it's guaranteed. So, but I definitely don't think Farmer wants anything to do with Shakur Stevenson right now. I just don't see it, unless there's a title on the line, which there wouldn't be. And finally, tied for 10th with Stevenson is Andrew Cancio. Now, here is I think it's possible, because I think if the Frampton fight and Herring doesn't happen until, say, February, I think Stevenson might come back, because he made easy work of Toka Conclary, didn't get hurt, nothing like that, at least that I've heard. So I think it's possible that Stevenson could stay busy and possibly take on a guy like Cancio. Now, here's where the reason why I don't believe the fight's going to happen, though, is Cancio still has yet to fight for his first time on ESPN and with Top Rank. He was scheduled to fight 3 times, and all 3 fell through for different issues. I believe one was a COVID test, not by him, by his opponent. I think one of the other ones was visa issues from his opponent. So, you know, I don't see... I'm leaning towards a no, but I do think it's possible. So that's the top 10 for Shakur Stevenson. Now, the most realistic ones, again, I think it's Jamel Herring if Herring beats Carl Frampton. I think it's Carl Frampton if he beats Jamel Herring. And then I also think possibly Andrew Cancio on the, you know, is a reach. But I do think Stevenson's already been ordered. I do believe he's going to fight the winner of that. But I also think next could be a stay busy tune-up about another one for Stevenson as he waits around for the title shot against the winner of Herring and Frampton. So just got to wait and see. But that's the what's next on Undefeated, future pound-for-pound star, and the future of boxing, Shakur Stevenson. Very much so looking forward to seeing him fight again. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.